Right, for some reason I can't get my Bluetooth to sync. What we've got here is my attempt to repair my classical guitar. Now I'm going to show you what I mean. I've got here quite a bad chip there, a not so bad chip there, but still nevertheless a chip there, a chip there, and a chip there. Now there's little dinks there, but they're not too bad. I think I might be able to do those with a heated. I'll try that later on and see what happens. But I'm going to repair these now there. I'm not a luthier, never done it before, but I've been watching on YouTube and I thought, well, I'll give it a try and also record it for my benefit since I forget how to do things. Now, what are we going to use? Well, that was quite expensive, really. I've got here, let's start with the glue. I've got here two different types of glue. This one's Star Bond, that's a medium all-purpose, multi-purpose, easy flow glue. And here I've got a heavy thin glue. I'm going to apply these with pipettes, which are these, to try and make sure I get it in the hole and it doesn't squirt everywhere. Now I also bought, this is an accelerator which dries things. You don't have to wait for things to dry. The problem is I'm told that they go white when you put it on. So I'll have to test that and see. I've also got, after you've done that, and you've built it up above that, above the hole, I've also got different types of sandpaper. This is a multi-polishing paper, this one. It's 6 large sheets, ranging from 8,000 grit, which is very fine, to 400 grit. And so you break it, you do bring it down until say 1200, and then you sand it to clear. And then finally I've got a guitar polish. Now I've also bought, in the hope that I might be doing these again, saving money on luthiers, I've also bought this kit which is $13.95 of eBay. Now let's have a look. This is a bag of blades. What I've got to do is I've got to, there's the razor blade that you buy, craft blade. You put it on some, you put it on a piece of steel like this and you stew that to get a burr on it. And then that's the packet with the rest of them in. And then you put sellotape on it, just leaving a little bit in the middle, and you scrape off the excess glue. In this bag here, I've got different files, measures for measuring, obviously, I suppose, the mid distance or the height, but I've also got a special gadget, because this is what's called a Fritz ruler, and that is for telling, if you look at this one, it's a classic guitar, it tells you on the 6th E string, the 1st E string, the height. So if I put that there above the 12th fret, as I understand it, that should give me the height of the strings that I should sand these things down, the bridge there, in order to get. These are for truss rods, and this is a winder for winding on the new strings. And this is, I don't know what these gadgets are for. I think it's something to do with these, the frets, but I don't know about that. But anyway, $13.95. I mean, I suspect I've spent what I would have paid the luthier to do it. On the other hand, I've got it forever and I can use it again as and when these things happen. Now, I normally use Regal Blue strings, Regal Blues, classic guitar strings, but this time I'm trying medium tension strings, which are these, in fact, are Ramirez strings. I've had them for years. I've got a Ramirez guitar on my boat, and these strings I bought at the time. This one's a Rodriguez guitar, not top end money. I'd say about 800 quid, I think. It's a model C4620. It's quite nice. Anyway, so as I do this, I'll come back to you. I wished I could get this thing Bluetooth to recognise the switch. It made life so much easier, but it don't. So there we are. Right, well, I've got the gadget to work, this little thing here, and I think that's, there we are, and there is the hole. I've got a magnifying glass because my eyesight's beginning to go a bit. I don't know if it'll work well, but we'll try if I need it. Let's see if I want it. Anyway, my desk isn't big enough. Now, I was going to use the pipettes, you remember. Then I found with the packet came these very tiny little tubes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try that in here first. Now that should run under the varnish. It's a little bit flaky, but it should go under the varnish. And there's a drop there. So if you can see that, but I'm just trying to spread the glue. Right, that's under that one. We'll leave that. Now I'm going to try the other one, which you may not be able to see because the lights are there. It's just there. I'm going to just fill that one as well. Now that one's a bit more difficult, so I'm going to it splintered the wood a little bit. Well, that's that one done. It's going to take its little layers you've got to do on it. And now I'm going to come to these two at the end here. There's one there, just there. There's one there. And there's one there. Very faint ones. So what I'm going to do is I'll just put a little blob in those two. Right there. Now what I'm going to do is, I haven't decided whether to put an accelerant on there or not. Well, let's have a look at this. Oh, it's dry and it hasn't turned white. Okay, on that basis then I'll spray that. It's on my finger now. Anyway, we'll see. I'm not very happy with that. I think what I'll do is I'll probably leave that to dry naturally, and I'll come back to you when as I go to each point. that accelerant's worked. One thing I did do, I'm going to mention it now. You see this little pipette? I thought I was stupid. I took it off. That's all that's going to block the hole. So I thought I'll take it off and blow down the end. And of course, what happened was I got a little bit of glue in my mouth. So that's not a good thing to do. So there we go. Right now, I'm going to put some more in here. The idea is to build up the layers like so. There's the second one. And then let me get it. Right, that's a bit much on that one. Right. Okay, so it's there again. It looks like this accelerant so fast. You can more or less carry on doing this thing. Oops. Right. Seems to work all right. Let's get accelerant. Got to wait a few minutes to dry. And then once that's dried, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up now to the heavy thin glue. That's medium run. The heavy thin, I perhaps should use that in the first place, that one. But this seems to be working all right, this. So anyway, I don't know if you can see, I'll bring this camera a bit lower. It's changed the, the glue's in there. Even if I did nothing else, that at least stabilises the crack, of course. Anyway, we'll see what's happening. Right. The instructions with this one. Okay. I'll have to read those and come back to you. Right. I've got the lamp here, which is, I'll try and push it down a bit so it doesn't show some shine. Right, if you look here, you see I've put a number of fills with the glue, and then I've used the accelerator to dry it and carried on, and that's proud of the surface. There's the other one, which is there, and there's 1, 2, 3 little dings there, which I filled as well, and I don't think they're quite so easy to see, those. 1, 2, and then 3, there's the third one there. Right, so that's done now. So the gluing's all finished, and now we've got to turn to the glue to get it even. Now, this is a piece of steel, this, and there is the razor blade I mentioned earlier. Now, somebody says you should just, and that is meant to put a little burr on the side. And now what I've got to do is I've got to accelerate, which is there. Now, one of these things, they did tell me the depth of the blade, and what you do is you just leave a little bit in the center like that. Don't know if you can see that. And then I'll take another piece of sellotape. I've never done this before, so I ain't no expert, as they say. So that's like that. Right, so there you'll see there's a blade in the middle, and now what you're meant to do is to take that, and let me see if I can show the without, very difficult trying to get the camera sorted out here. Right. Move that away. I'll turn that lamp off, I think, see how it goes. Right, bit darker. Right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it between my finger, and the idea is to scrape it. I'll carry on doing that. As you can see, what I'm doing is scraping it off on here, side of the bird probably. I'll keep doing that until I've got that flat, and then I'll have to sand. Right, I've sanded that, no, not sanded it, using this thing here, this thing. I've tried to get the glue down to level with the varnish. It's not perfect. I think there's a knack to it. I'm still getting stuff off. You can see that. That's there. This was funny enough, these were the two easiest, well, the smallest spots, but most difficult. And that's done that. One that's smooth, this one here is relatively smooth. Then we've got the, let me show this around here. These are the worst one that was there, and that one there. They're fairly smooth. I don't think I'm going to get a free colour though. I don't think it's. I think I don't think it'll be a what do you call it, an invisible repair. But I think it'll be a lot better than it is once I've got the polishing and everything on it. Right. The next trip, the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using these polishing cloths. Now, there's a note here on the front of it there, which tells you, so green is the 400 grit. So that's the 400 grit. So I'm going to start with that one first. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. Well, first of all, I'm going to write on the back of it. I'll put on the back of it here 400 400, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a strip of it, like that. Now that's it, I'm going to stop there. Put it on one side. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here, I'm going to put it on there. And I'm going to do that. It's called strip sanding, according to one of these chaps on YouTube. So we'll try that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 400 and then work my way up to 1200, and then I'll come back to you. But that's what I'm doing. I must admit there, I'm a little bit concerned as to whether in fact there's a hole there or not. I think that might be a high point. I might have to take that down. Anyway, I don't want to spend ages on this filming, so I'll just show you. Right. Turn that off. Right, what I've done is now, this is the green. Now that in fact is 400 grit, and I've been using this method, which is basically put it under my finger and pulling it, and the same there, in different directions. So that's 400 grit. Now as you go higher, it gets finer, and so I'll just turn this around this way for a little while. This is the worst one, this one here. Right, now that's those ones. Now I'm going to do, I've got the blue and the green, the blue and the grey next, and the grey in fact is the next one, which is in fact 600 grit, and then the blue is 1200. So basically I'll carry on doing this now and slowly working my way up until I'm going to have to wet the last ones, which is the 8000 grit. And what I intend to do is put a double tape on here. It's a rubber block really. I'm going to put a double tape on that, sellotape on there, and I'm going to put a strip of the wet 8000 and 6000, and then I'll do that with it and really get it down. But at the moment I've got to work my way through this, so I'm going to say, so 600 grit to start, now it's 400 grit to start, that was green, now this is 6, the next one's the blue, which is 1200 grit. Right, I've just done the sanding, some of it. Right, this is now, I've got now the pink and mint, I think they call that, although it looks like blue to me, but it's mint. And then I've got the light green, which is on here. Now the light green I've actually wet. I've put a double-sided tape, sellotape on there, and I've wet it. So this now leaves this. So the pink is now 4000 grit, which is what I'm going to do now. So if I move that over here. There we go. Let's say 4000. finger's a bit wet, but I don't think it matters much. Try and move that in different directions. And press the finger. I don't see why you shouldn't just do that as well. So that one there. Not happy with that one. I might give that another razor blade, that one. Anyway, this one here, down the ends now. Turn this round. Strange thing enough is that where you've been sanding it, the white bits there, I'm not convinced this is the best way of doing things, but certainly on YouTube one of the experts said that's what you should do, but I'm not sure you're getting a bite into the varnish like that, so I don't think it makes a lot of difference. Just do that, and you can see actually where I'm sanding it, so the white bit where previous sandings have been are disappearing, and you're beginning to see just the wood there. I've got to say, under my finger I can feel little bits of indentation, which means that I haven't done perhaps the filling as well as I should have done, but you can see now that this is beginning to look a lot better. That's what I'm doing. There. Put the fingers in. This is what they say, a lot of the ones the experts say. And this is what I'm doing, so you can either follow what the experts say, I've shown you what to do there, or you can do what I'm doing, which is basically sanding it. So that's really coming up quite good. I mean, it's not, you can still see where it was, but the wood's sealed now, and it looks quite neater now. And now I've got to take the other paper, which I can't find, which is pink. The blue one seems to have, oh, here's the blue one. Well, here's the blue one. So I've got to tell you, it's not, you can't see, I mean you can see where it is, but it's now flat. I mean it's varnished, so I'm really quite pleased with it, really. First attempt too, and not even professional, but I wanted to show if I can do it, anyone can do it. So guitar restoration now, if you wanted to, could become a hobby. I don't know if it looks good enough for professionals. Now, that's that done. Now we take the final one, which is the 8000 grit, which is wet. And with that one, I think we'll start here. that one. That's quite good, that. It's the wet one. Now I think there's a few dents here. Oh no, I can't see, they seem to have all gone now. There's one there. I might try taking that out with heat. I know how to do it, I've seen it. We basically take a soldering iron, it's a wet cloth, just put it over the top and it should lift it out. That's what should happen there. Right. Right, just do this round here. Just do that. Right, I'm quite pleased with that. Now, that is now finished. All I've got to do is to polish it. I've got some guitar polish, which I'll share the result of in due course. There, guitar polish. So anyway, there's the make then. So it's Star Bond Heavy Thin, which I think should have been done first, really. And then you've got the medium afterwards, which should have been done second, I think, with hindsight. And the one thing I'm missing now, which I've got to find, is the saddle that I've dropped someplace. It's great, isn't it? Put things down, you can never find anything. All right. So the part 2 of the video will be the saddle and the polishing. Right. There's the bridge. I'm left-handed, of course, so it's got to go like that for me. I've got to put it somewhere I don't lose it. I'll put it there. And now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the polishing and I'm going to polish. But I'm going to show you this side first of all. Now, I don't know if you can see that, but the oxidization, it just turned cream. I looked it up, and apparently these Rodriguez guitars are prone for that. So what I'm going to do is, it says work in with a cloth and then take off immediately. So let's swig the coffee. Right, so let's have a look. The instructions say, shake the bottle well, pour a small amount of towel and work into the guitar, wipe off immediately in a clean towel. So, wipe on, yellow. Wipe off, pink. Right, I'm shaking. Let's give it a try. I wonder if it's got a seal underneath it. Let's have a look. That's it. Yep, there's a seal. So that would have been a great time. Okay, let's find a pair of sharp scissors from somewhere. I should have loads of them about. 2 pairs on the floor. Right, we'll take them. Right, get that off. Throw that in the bin. Put this back on. Put it down and now shake it. Right. So let's see how we go, folks. So I'm not going to spend hours on this because it's going to take ages. So I'll just show you. So right, it's a small amount on the cloth. So let's start with that. Don't know if it's a small amount or not, but we'll see. Right, so we put that on. It's very badly oxidized, this. A small section at a time. Don't affect the playing of it, it just makes it look horrible. Let's take that off there. What does that look like? Well, I've got to tell you, I don't think it's taken much of the oxidation off. So I'll polish it with this, but I think the likelihood is if it doesn't really work, this says it should do. Restores, maintains, shines, protects, silicone and wax free. It says shake bottle well, play on that. It says a little goes to wipe off our premium polish to revive hazy and scuffed surfaces. Well, it's certainly hazy. I don't know what to do. Let's just try a small section there. Now I think what I may have to do is to actually take the old sandpaper job and just get rid of this oxidization. And now it says wipe off to a shine. Well, that doesn't seem to be doing it much. Anyway, I think what I'll do is, since I've got the sandpaper out here, what we'll do is we'll take the 600 and I'll cut a bit off that and we'll see if that works. I mean, the polish see if that works. I don't suspect it would. It may well be that there is a sandpaper answer, but it may well be that it's going to have to be it's cutting in. That's cutting into it. We'll see how that works. You can see it's taking off the first layer there. Don't want to do it too strongly. Right, now I don't think this oxidization is going to be much good, but we'll try it now. We'll try a bit more. Well, there's going to have to be another plan for the oxidization. I'll have to look that up and perhaps do another video on it. But anyway, I'm going to polish this guitar on this side because there's no oxidization on this side. And then I'll be ready to restring, which is what I really intended to do. I would like to have done it, but I've not been able to. So right, okay, this hasn't got any oxidization on it for some reason. Little goes a long way, it says. So let's see. Yellow on. straight away. And I've got to say, if I run my finger over that, you can see the repair, but it's right down to the wood. It's now safe. So I think I can say that that's a success, that. So I'll get on and polish the rest of this, and may show you then the last result before I finish the video. That's it done now. Not bad for my first attempt, I don't think. That's flat and done well, but because it was down to the wood, so you're going to have some discolouring. There was a ding there. I sanded that, filled that, and there and there. There's a couple of other. I could have done some more. There's a bit more there, little dents, little dinks there, which I think I'll have a go at in due course. Now the problem I've got is this bit on the back. This oxidization or milky stuff. Now I looked up Rodriguez guitars. Apparently they suffer from it, but what the cure is, short of stripping it off, I don't know, because I think it's actually into the varnish. Anyway, that was my first attempt at luthiering, and there you go. Save myself a few bob.